Wait, before you scroll away, stay here for one moment. Breathe in slowly. Hold it. Now let it go. Because if one person has been showing up in your mind at strange hours, if you have felt a pull you cannot explain, if your heart has been restless at night for no clear reason, this message may be arriving at the exact time you need it. Someone is thinking about you every single night. Not sometimes, not once in a while, every night. They try to distract themselves, they try to sleep, they try to act normal, but when the world gets quiet, your memory gets loud. And the reason is deeper than you think. Stay with me because this is where it gets real. What if the silence was never the end of the story? What if distance did not erase what they feel? What if the very person who said nothing has been fighting a private storm every night without you knowing? Listen closely until the end, because one part of this may explain what you have been feeling too. You are not here by accident. Something brought you to these words, and if your spirit has been picking up on a shift, if your chest has felt heavy, if their energy has brushed against your thoughts out of nowhere, there may be a reason. Keep watching, because the truth behind their sleepless nights may change how you see this whole connection. There is someone who cannot stop thinking about you once the day is over. In daylight, they manage it better. They stay busy. They answer people. They smile when needed. They act like life is moving forward. They wear a calm face and keep their thoughts hidden behind routine. But night tells the truth. Night removes the noise. Night removes the mask. And when everything becomes still, you return to them. Your face, your voice, the way you made them feel, the look in your eyes, the warmth of your presence. It all comes back. They lie awake and stare into the dark. They turn to one side, then the other. They check the time. 1 hour passes, then another, then another. Sleep stays far away because your memory keeps opening the same door inside them. They reach for their phone more times than they want to admit. They open your name. They stare at your picture. They type a message, then erase it. They whisper to themselves that it is too late, that too much time has passed, that maybe you do not want to hear from them now. Then, a few minutes later, they do it again. This has become a pattern, a quiet ritual, a private struggle no one else sees. And if that sounds intense, stay with this because the reason it keeps happening is not as simple as missing you. It goes deeper, much deeper. They are not only remembering you, they are measuring the emptiness left behind by your absence. You may have felt part of this yourself. There were nights you woke up suddenly for no reason. Nights when your heart started beating harder in the silence. Nights when their face appeared in your mind, even while you were trying to move on, focus, or rest. Maybe a strange sadness dropped onto your chest out of nowhere. Maybe a soft warmth surrounded you at the oddest moment, almost like someone far away was holding you in thought. You could not explain it. You tried to brush it off. But some feelings do not come from logic. Some feelings arrive through a bond words cannot fully explain. When two people share a deep connection, communication does not always happen through calls, texts, or clear actions. Sometimes it moves through memory, through energy, through silent emotional waves that travel farther than distance should allow. That is why this connection has not felt fully gone, even when there was no contact. Something stayed alive underneath the silence. Something continued breathing beneath the surface even while both of you tried to act like the chapter was closed. And right now, their thoughts about you are stronger than before. Not weaker, not fading, stronger. Every night the truth returns to them in the same quiet way. They miss your energy. They miss the calm you brought. They miss how real they felt around you. They miss the version of themselves that only seemed to appear when you were near. That is what keeps pulling them back. Not just memory, recognition. If this person could speak with no fear, no pride, and no walls, the truth coming from their heart would sound something like this. I think about you every night. I tried to stop, and I failed every time. I filled my days with noise so I would not have to hear my own heart. I stayed busy so I would not have to face what losing you did to me. I told myself you were only a chapter, only a moment, only someone I would slowly forget. But none of that was true. You became more than a memory. You became part of the way I feel life itself. I hear your name inside songs. I see traces of you in places I pass. I remember the smallest details, And that is what hurts the most. I remember the way you listened. I remember how safe I felt near you. I remember how I did not have to perform around you. I could just be, and somehow that was enough. I remember the last time I saw you. I remember what you wore. I remember the sound of your voice. I remember wanting that moment to last longer than it did. And I remember being afraid. Afraid of how much you mattered. Afraid of being seen too clearly. Afraid that loving you would break open parts of me I had worked hard to keep hidden. So instead of moving closer, I stepped back. Instead of speaking honestly, I went quiet. Instead of trusting what was real, I ran from it. And now I lie awake at night feeling the cost of that choice. That is one of the deepest reasons they think about you every night. It is not only longing, it is regret. Quiet regret. Heavy regret. The kind that does not scream but stays. The kind that replays old conversations and changes their meaning. They think about what they should have said, what they almost said, what they felt and buried. They remember moments when you reached toward them with sincerity, patience, and care, and they answered with confusion, delay, or distance. At the time, they called it caution. They called it needing space. They called it bad timing. But in the middle of the night, excuses lose their power. The truth becomes simpler. They were afraid. Afraid of depth. Afraid of attachment. Afraid of what it would demand from them to love openly. So they held back. And now they sit with the echo of that choice. The reason may surprise you because it is not just that they miss being loved. It is that they know what they found with you was rare. They know what you gave came from a real place. They know not everyone brings peace, honesty, warmth, and emotional safety into a room the way you did. That realization keeps them awake, because once someone understands they let something real slip through their hands, sleep does not come easily, especially not when the heart keeps asking the same question, what if I lost the person who truly saw me? Stay here, because this next part matters. The more you have healed, the more they have felt the shift. Something changed in you, maybe slowly, maybe painfully. But it changed. There was a time when you waited. You checked your phone too often. You searched old messages for hidden meaning. You replayed their words. You wondered what you did wrong. You left the door open even when silence kept hurting you. You hoped they would return, explain everything, and finally choose you clearly. But after enough tears, enough sleepless nights, enough questions with no answer, you began to change. You started protecting your peace. You stopped begging life to send clarity through mixed signals. You stopped measuring your worth through someone else's fear or hesitation. You learned something hard and beautiful. Your value does not rise when someone comes back, and it does not fall when someone stays away. Real love should not feel like endless waiting in the dark. Real love should not make you shrink. It should not require you to carry both hearts alone. That lesson transformed you. You became quieter inside, but stronger, softer, but clearer. You stopped chasing what was uncertain. You stopped handing your peace to silence. And even from a distance, they can feel that. They feel that you are no longer standing still in the same place. They feel that your energy is no longer reaching out in the old way. They feel that the version of you who once waited at the door is no longer there. And that realization has shaken them more than they expected. Because now their nights are not only filled with memory, they are filled with the growing fear that you may truly move forward without them. This is why they cannot sleep the way they used to. It is not just love. It is not just desire. It is not just nostalgia. It is the sudden understanding that your presence was never guaranteed, and your absence may become permanent if they keep hiding. During the day, they tell themselves they still have time. They tell themselves tomorrow will be better. They tell themselves they will reach out when the moment feels perfect. But night strips all that down. Night shows them that time is moving, that people change, that healing changes the shape of a heart, that silence creates distance even when feelings remain. And the more they feel you becoming whole without them, the more the truth presses in. They may really lose access to you, not because you hate them, not because you stopped caring, but because you are growing beyond the place where confusion once lived. That is the part they were not ready for. They thought your love would wait forever. They thought your patience meant endless time. They thought they could sort themselves out and return whenever they felt ready. Now they are starting to understand life does not work like that. Doors do not always slam, but they do close quietly when peace returns to someone's heart. And that thought has become their midnight struggle. That is why they keep looking at your name. That is why your memory sits at the edge of their sleep. That is why they keep feeling the urge to speak and then freeze. The clock keeps moving, and deep down, they know it. Lately, signs seem to follow them more than before. Songs linked to you show up unexpectedly. Small details bring you rushing back. A place, a scent, a phrase, a stranger's smile, a certain time on the clock, a dream that feels too vivid to ignore. They try to call it coincidence, but the pattern keeps repeating. Even when they are doing something ordinary, something pulls their mind back to you. They may be in a crowded room and still feel alone because your memory enters with full force. They may be laughing with others and suddenly feel a drop in their chest because the joy does not go deep enough. They may fall asleep for a short while, only to dream of you in a way that feels more real than the life they wake up to. In those dreams, the distance is gone. The walls are gone. The fear is gone. For a moment, everything is simple again. Then morning comes, reality returns, and the emptiness is there, waiting for them. That is another reason they think about you every night. Night is the only place where their defenses loosen enough for the truth to show itself clearly. And the truth is this: they have not moved on the way they pretend to have. Their heart keeps circling back. Their soul keeps reaching. Their mind keeps fighting what the deeper part of them already knows. If this is speaking to your situation, stay until the end, because what happens next in this kind of story is never random. Pressure always creates movement eventually. More than once, they have almost reached out. More than once, their fingers have typed your name into a message box and stayed there. More than once, they have imagined what they would say if fear finally stepped aside. Maybe it starts small. A simple hello. A question about how you are, a message that looks casual on the surface but carries years of feeling underneath. Or maybe it comes deeper than that, because the heart gets tired of pretending. The heart gets tired of watching chances pass by. The heart gets tired of hiding behind pride while missing someone in silence. They are getting closer to that edge now. The edge where staying silent begins to hurt more than speaking. The edge where fear of rejection becomes smaller than fear of losing you forever. And even if they still hesitate, the pressure is building. Their thoughts are no longer light. Their feelings are no longer easy to control. Your growth has forced them to face their own delay. Your peace has become a mirror, and in that mirror, they see what they almost lost. So if you have felt movement under the surface, if the air around this connection has felt charged, if your intuition has been whispering that something is changing, do not ignore that completely. Stay grounded, stay calm, keep living your life, but do not dismiss what your spirit may already sense. Because sometimes the next chapter begins in silence first, long before it becomes visible in the outer world. And when a person has been thinking about you every night for this long, something eventually has to give. Still, this story is not only about them. It is about you remembering who you are. It is about understanding that even if they return, your worth did not begin with their attention, and it will not end without it. You are deeply valuable now, in this moment, exactly as you are. The love you wanted from them first had to teach you how to give that same tenderness back to yourself. That is why this painful journey was not empty. It shaped you. It stripped away the parts of you that thought love had to be chased, proven, or waited for in silence. It showed you that peace is sacred, that clarity matters, that being chosen openly is not too much to ask. And because of that, you are not the same person you were when this started. You carry yourself differently now. There is a quiet power in you, a steadiness, a light that does not depend on whether someone texts, calls, returns, or explains. That is the real shift. And yes, they feel that shift at night more than ever. They feel that you are no longer reaching from a place of need. They feel that your energy has become whole, settled, and strong. That is why their thoughts about you have become even more intense. Because people often do not fully understand the value of a soul until they feel it becoming out of reach. Let that sink in. The reason they think about you every night is not only because they miss you, it is because they can feel you becoming someone they may no longer be able to return to in the same way. So if you have been asking what this all means, here is the deeper answer. It means the connection mattered. It means the silence was not as empty as it looked. It means your absence has been working on them in ways they did not expect. It means the version of them that once hid behind delay is being pushed toward a choice. And it means your own growth was never wasted. Whether they come forward tomorrow, later, or not at all, the truth remains the same. You were never forgotten. You were never small. You were never difficult to replace because there was never a real replacement. You touched something real in them, and now every quiet night keeps proving it. But do not let that truth pull you back into waiting. Let it give you peace, not pause. Let it remind you that what you felt was real, but keep your hands open and your life moving. If they return, let their actions speak. Let clarity reveal itself. Let honesty come in full form, not in crumbs. And if the shift you have been sensing finally arrives, you will know. Their tone will be different. Their energy will be different. Their words will carry weight. Because someone who has spent night after night thinking about you, fighting themselves, and feeling your absence does not come forward lightly. They come forward changed. And if that moment comes, meet it with the strength you earned, the peace you protected, and the self-respect you built in the dark when no one else saw how hard it was. Until then, keep going, keep healing, keep shining. And trust this, some truths take time to reach the surface, but when they do, they change everything.